I want to formally speak about this real quick before it's too late. First of all, I'm just in total shock right now. And I'm kind of not surprised that this happened. But it's just like, he really couldn't do anything besides be a weirdo around teenage-year-old kids while on the set of making a show. It just mind blows me, to be honest, of how he thought it was a normal thing around these children. Even though we got popular show characters such as Miranda Cosgrove and Victoria Justice, just like wanting to be actors, but then incoming a weird producer that we call Dan Schneider over here fantasizing feet, and it's not stopping mental abuse of a guy being sexually harassed and sexually abused by another man on the set. I don't know. Dan Schneider, he's just a weirdo. Like, for real, he's just weird. He really is, and I really don't know why he thought this was a good idea to, like, oh yeah, you do this, you do that, you send in the feet pits and let me organize it. Like, for real. Like, that's just weird. Like, for real. Why? You a grown man talking about some, let me see your feet. Like, for real. And now you're finna go on a live documentary with my guy Tebow. Come on, man. You outplayed yourself. Your career is dead, to be honest. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to say. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you actually enjoyed this. Like, for real. Let's get into it. What is good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am back once again, and not to mention, I am your host, Cameron Baker. Yes, I am. And today, we are looking at a weird, tragic tale of Dan Schneider, the scandal at Nickelodeon. This is a video by Blame It on George. Now, I've heard about basically everything that went down in behind the scenes that Dan Schneider does to these child actors, and it's genuinely disgusting. It really is. But anyways, we're not going to get into this too much, but if you like what you see, sub to me, hit the like button, comment down below, share with your friends, your families, and your relatives. Oh, and don't forget to hit up the other socials as well, as they'll be in the description as well. But yeah, we're gonna dive right into this. 3, 2, 1, let's get it.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh yeah. I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded.
See, this is already a bad look already. Like, what are you doing to her? This man got the sunshades out like he all cool and bendy. Like, for real. Like, yeah, like he everything. Nah, bro. Nah.
Literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me till I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
Is that
If you grew up watching Nickelodeon, then you may have heard of Dan Schneider. He was responsible for many of its hit shows during the 90s and 2000s, such as The Amanda Show, iCarly, and my personal favorite, Drake and Josh. In recent years, Dan has been brought into controversy due to rumors about abusive and possibly sexual behaviors between him and his young female co-stars. None of these rumors were grounded with any hard evidence, and most people dismissed it. Until March 26, 2018, when Nickelodeon announced that they will be parting ways with Dan Schneider. The news surprised many people. Why would Nickelodeon fire one of its biggest producers seemingly out of nowhere? Were they aware of all the rumors and decided to finally do something about it? What is the Dan Schneider conspiracy?
Okay, I'm Carly.
I'm Sam.
And we like to draw families on our toes.
Observe.
This is where this all started. This first episode is when Dan Schneider got turned on by these two child actors. It was like, rubbing his hands. Oh, yeah. I like me that. Yeah. Keep on going. Show the camera. Like, you a grown man over here rubbing your hands together, about to get turned on by child feet. No wonder why Nickelodeon parted ways with you. You weirdo. This was a funny episode, but why is
Okay, and that completes our 5-part series on toes with froze.
Now, I'm gonna turn off the camera using only the remote and the power of my toes.
Toes with froze.
One of the most prominent rumors regarding Dan Schneider is that he has a thing for feet and uses his shows and their following to satisfy this fetish. You may be thinking, well, maybe he just finds feet and toes to be funny.
No.
And to be honest, some of the scenes by themselves are rather harmless and something that I can imagine on other shows. However, it's undeniable that there are a large number of feet-related puns and barefoot scenes in his shows. Too many to list here. Outside of television, there are some weird examples, however. In Victorious, Tori hosts an online show called Tori Takes Requests, where viewers can ask her to do all sorts of random things. In the very first episode, Tori gets a request to have ketchup poured all over her feet, and then she does a little dance at the end. In another online show called Cat's Random Thoughts, there's a moment in the first episode where she sticks her big toe in her mouth.
Ariana wildin'. Look at her. Ariana is wildin'. Not only is she wildin', but Dan Schneider is. I know he's probably like licking his lips and over here just like rubbing his hands together, wondering if this is the best thing he has ever seen. This is not the best thing you have ever seen. This is gross. This is gross. This is very nasty. Very, very disgusting, bro. It really is. Dan Schneider knows it by now, but he's like, whatever. It's my show. I can do whatever I want, bro. It's my show. But like, what you mean? It's my show.
I didn't really watch Victorious growing up, so I don't know if these played on television, but I do know that they were extras on theslap.com.
Ah, I remember the slap. When Victorious was a trend around, I always wanted to see what the slap was about. Since I've always seen like these episodes before, and there was like, the slap was running like Twitter. That's what it was. Just like running with tweets and all that. So I'm like, okay, what does Tori gotta say? Andre, Trina, Robbie, Kat, Beck, and Jade. But all I cared about was the television series. I didn't really get on the slap that much. So yeah, I missed out my time, to be honest.
A fictional in-universe website. Now, here is where things get even more unusual. On September 13th, 2013, the Sam and Cat Twitter page asked its followers to take a picture of their feet with the hashtag Sam and Cat Saturday, and a number of people did. This is just one of many now infamous feet-related tweets from Dan Schneider and his shows, but this is the most well-known. You can find several if you look around long enough. During the same year, there was a post on Reddit about how Dan Schneider is the most successful writer / TV executive in children's television for the last 30 years. A user commented, "I grew up in LA and was an extra on The Amanda Show a few times. He, being Dan Schneider, paid me $100 once just to tickle my feet." The user further elaborated, "To make a weird story short, in between takes, Dan asked me if I was ticklish, and I said no. Then he bet me $100 he could make me ticklish. I was expecting him to reach over and tickle me under my arm or something like that, but he led me to his office. I basically got paid to receive a foot massage and a lot of compliments." The commenter later deleted his or her account. It's unknown who this person is, how old he or she was, or if this person was even telling the truth. A small YouTube channel known as Revenge of the Sis have done a number of videos about Dan Schneider, and during one of their podcasts, they received a call from an anonymous source stating that she went to an audition for one of Dan Schneider's shows. The call was quite lengthy, so for time's sake, I'll be playing a portion of what she had to say. The full podcast will be available below.
So in 1997, I was discovered in a mall, basically we would go on auditions just at different places, and eventually I got a manager and an agent who would send me on audition calls for, like little things like commercials and everything. And then as I started growing in my career, in 2007, my agent contacted me and my family about possibly getting a good Nickelodeon gig. Right. And we flew out to LA for this audition. And when we got there, it was a bunch of kids, probably like 200 kids. And then these random agents hand-selected specific kids that they liked or, showed some charisma. And then once about 40 kids were selected, we were then told to take off our shoes and that we were each going to go into a room to show the producer, who is Dan Schneider, the tapes to see who we would want on the show. And of course, we always ask, like, oh, what do we have to do? Like, what would you like us to be doing once we're in there? And my agent told me, he's like, it's going to be like he's like, you got to just take off your shoes, just like run around in front of the camera.
Hell no, no.
A 30 or a 40-year-old man or a 50-year-old man coming up to me talking about something. Hey, we want to show somebody. We want to give you an audition. So here's what I'm gonna need you to do. I'm gonna need you to take off your shoe and then show me a picture of your feet. Yeah, you know a feet pic, right? Then we can obviously, we could do that, and then obviously we could like show you like, then we could like put it on the internet, and then afterwards we could just like, you're part of the show. Yeah, I wouldn't mind showing a picture of my feet and slapping you off guard. Like, for real. You're not going to take a picture of my feet and then think it's all right. No. And plus, you just got to take off your shoes. I'm not taking off my shoes for anything. My shoes are staying right exactly on my foot. Like, what you mean? And there's nothing you can do about it. I might as well go over to Disney while I'm at it. I'll bet. I wouldn't mind working with Raven and Orlando Brown, like, for real.
About how much you love being barefoot. And at the time, even, it was like, okay, that's weird, but I didn't think anything of it because I was still young.
Right.
My mom kind of looked around and was like, this is wrong. There's just something really wrong about this.
Because this person's mother decided to take her out of the audition, she's been blacklisted from the business.
Number 2.
Hey, Dan Schneider. I know you're watching my Vine. Do you like my Vine? Fine. Look what you've done to me.
Oh, that's Jeanette McCurdy.
There are a number of photos circulating the internet of Dan Schneider.
Is that really Jeanette McCurdy? No. That's not the Jeanette McCurdy that is not the Sam Puckett that I know. Because she would have beat anyone with a butter sock. You've seen iCarly before. Yeah, she would have beaten anyone with a butter sock. Like, for real. And the butter sock is one of the most useful objects in iCarly history.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
I know you're watching my Vine. Do you like my Vine? Fine. Look what you've done to me.
There are a number of photos circulating the internet of Dan Schneider being a bit too touchy with his young child actors.
Yeah.
Some of which are a bit more uncomfortable to look at
than
than others.
Oh my god. You weirdo.
There are stories of him inviting young actresses into his office and hosting pool parties during auditions.
So what would happen is that your parents would send you to sort of like this camp. It was basic acting classes, and it was an opportunity for the kids to get discovered. And interestingly enough, most of the kids got discovered by the pool. They had a pool, they had like tennis courts, and I believe like it was like Megan Fox and other female celebs, and Hillary Duff was another one who got discovered there at the pool. And they would push you to do pool activities because they said that's where you have the highest chance of getting discovered.
Now, what was the age range of the people that went to these at these camps?
The age ranges, the ones that I was familiar with, are ages 13 to 22.
In an article by Kira Davis from Red State, she writes, I happened to be chatting with a former child actor over a week ago. We were discussing Weinstein, and she told me that in her youth, she worked on one of Schneider's shows very briefly. She told me, my friend was molested by that man on set. Everyone knew it. No one said a word.
Oh
in 2004,
my God.
Actor and producer Brian Peck was convicted of several accounts of lewd acts towards a minor and was sentenced to 16 months in prison. Court documents reveal that several of these acts involved attempted sodomy of a person under 16, sexual penetration by foreign object, and oral copulation by anesthesia or controlled substance.
And now, Brian Peck, that situation turns out to be Drake Bell. Yeah, the guy that made I Never Found That It'd Be So Simple Now. That guy. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that guy. Mr. Drake and Josh. Yeah, that guy. Except Josh is, taking time, taking time off for himself. But some people are blaming him, saying that, oh, that's your brother. Why would your brother do that? Trying to ruin the man's career. Josh Peck ain't got nothing to do with this. Brian Peck may sound the same to Josh Peck, but they're two different individuals. Like, Dan Schneider, your career is done. Don't even come back to producing a television series. You're done. Like, don't even try going over to Disney. Disney, you would actually harm the stars. And you would harm the animatronics as well. You'll even harm Mickey Mouse.
To name a few. The victim has remained anonymous to protect his or her career, but according to reports, the child actor was involved in The Amanda Show. After serving a sentence, Peck was released from prison and went straight back to working on kids shows, such as The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Not the Sweet
This is because, although he is prohibited from direct contact with children, that technically doesn't mean he's not allowed to work on shows that involve children.
I wonder where I'd wear this.
Wear it to a fruit stand. You look like a lime.
So what does this have to do with Dan Schneider? Well, in a 2002 article titled Groomed to Be All That, it is revealed that Dan Schneider and Brian Peck would host comedy boot camps for Nickelodeon child stars, where they were allegedly separated from their parents.
Comedy boot camp! To be separated from their family. See, this is why we should have been listened. We should have pointed out everything when it came to like Nickelodeon and Dan Schneider, to be honest. We should have pointed everything out. Like, look at the big concern we're worried about. Why wasn't Chris Hansen called? Why is the logo a dang foot? Why is the logo a foot? Why wasn't police involved?
It's facts! It's facts! It's not facts. These facts are not facts.
Why isn't there one security guard, at least a couple security guards in the back, like, hey, bruh, don't do that, bruh. Don't be too weird. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. And why is Jerry Trainer the only guy protecting the children away from this weirdo Dan Schneider? There's so many questions to this. There really is so many questions to this. That these young children can't even defend themselves against a 30-year-old man that's peer pressuring them to do these type of despicable things around him just to make him feel a sort of way, to make him feel turned on, just away from their parents. Like, just a weirdo.
Really think about that for a bit. The guy that held boot camps for children was convicted and sentenced 2 years later for committing sexual acts with children, and then went straight back to working on children's shows. When asked if he had anything to say to the child he abused, Peck responded with, "I don't have any comment on it. I really don't."
Typical. Buddy, you got caught. You were sexually abusing a 15-year-old on the set. What's wrong with you? You a 30 or 40 plus year old man. You know better by now. Well, clearly you don't, because you don't got no brain cells. Like, y'all can't be normal for 1 second. Y'all really cannot be normal for once. It's not like my childhood is ruined, but you genuinely destroyed the children. You genuinely destroyed the children on Nickelodeon and on Disney. And Dan Schneider, I'm calling him out as well. You're weird. You're both weird. Stay off television. Do something else that doesn't involve children.
And this is the guy that Dan Schneider worked with for years. According to Deadline.com, Dan Schneider was known for having temper issues. During a meeting with Nickelodeon executives, Dan was told that his show Game Shakers would not be renewed for a 4th season, leaving it on a cliffhanger ending. It was also reported that Nickelodeon's newest show, Cousins for Life, would move into the same studio that all of Schneider's shows were exclusively produced for years, and that Dan wasn't so happy about having to share space now. Perhaps the most absurd allegation towards Dan Schneider is that he is the true father of Jamie Lynn Spears' daughter. Yeah, this is a little silly, but it does lead into something interesting, so I'm going to bring it up for educational purposes, just so you guys know.
So, Jamie Lynn Spears, the same exact girl that played Zoe 101 as Zoe, is the father of this weirdo. This gotta be cap. This has got to be the biggest cap of all time. This has got to be cap. I'm not believing it not one bit. I am not believing it not one bit.
The true father of Jamie Lynn Spears' daughter. Yeah, this is a little silly, but it does lead into something interesting, so I'm going to bring it up for educational purposes, just so you guys know. Jamie Lynn Spears, the star of Zoe 101, infamously got pregnant at 16 years old, which resulted in the cancellation of the show. Crazy Days and Nights is an online gossiping website ran by an anonymous blogger known as NT, a self-proclaimed dialed-in entertainment lawyer. Supposedly, NT was able to predict certain scandals involving big-name celebrities, such as Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, on his website years before mainstream media caught on. Obviously, there's no way to verify this is accurate, despite the Daily Beast believing so. Regardless, there was an interesting post made by NT in October of 2007 saying, "I don't even know how you define what list someone is when they are on some ensemble show watched by teens and preteens. So go with the above and make her a female. Make her pregnant, which is causing the producers to have a heart attack because they really don't need any more scandals. But wait, there's more. One of the producers, who was old enough to be her grandfather, shouldn't be having a heart attack because of shock, because he is the one who knocked her up. New boyfriends are being lined up as we speak."
Oh my god. So this man was literally hitting Jamie Spears to the back. You know? Oh my god. Oh my freaking god. This man, I don't even know what to even say to this man. I know I've been saying this before, but this man does not need another producer. He does not need this anyway. Don't even go for adult shows. Don't even go for that. Not even a sitcom cartoon. Cartoon like adult show. Don't even go for that. Because I wouldn't be surprised if you started doodling with the adult actors afterwards. You see a random dude? You see a random woman right there? Yeah. Yeah, go for that. Like for real. No, we don't go for that. No, we don't go for that. No, don't go for that. You weirdo. For real, you're 50 plus old. You're 50 plus another 40 years old. Like for real. Like why are you doing this, you weirdo? This is one of the reasons why I'm still trying to figure out on why Chase hasn't confessed her love to Zoe, and I still didn't get a message yet. Like Zoe just left him on a cliffhanger, and then there's no messages yet. This is crazy, boys.
In December of 2007, just 2 months later, Jamie Lynn Spears announces her pregnancy.
Crazy days and nights.
Speaking of crazy days and nights, visitors to the website are able to create accounts and comment on NT's posts, often attempting to guess which celebrity will be exposed next. One of these commenters, known as him, is believed to be Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, the Golden Avenger himself. Where the hell did this come from?
Iron Man.
Well, most people
Tony
came to this
Stark.
conclusion because of what him revealed about himself through his posts, such as having a troubled youth and nearly destroying his Hollywood career. Him also listed celebrities that he was friends with, including Jon Favreau, Guy Ritchie, David Kelly, John Hughes, Natasha Gregson Wagner, Brian Lord, Tommy Lee Jones, Susanna Hoffs, Steve Martin, Rachel McAdams, Molly Ringwald, Miranda Cosgrove, and Susan Downey, Robert Downey Jr.'s wife.
That is a crazy pick right there. That is a wild pick right there. That is a crazy pick. I just wanted to point that out.
It's worth noting that him's complete list of celebrities included some that people
Neil Patrick Harris, John Hamm, Bill Cosberg, Sophia Coppola, Zoe Casvetz, Moon Zappa, Brad Pitt. I think I heard of that name before. Jerry Bruckheimer. Yeah, sung closely. Amber Heard, Tom Hanks, Rob Reiner, Will Stage, Johnny Depp, Akiva Goldsman, and Kate Beckinsale.
were not able to find a connection to Robert Downey Jr., such as Neil Patrick Harris and John Hamm. Of course, there's no way to know for certain who him is, but what we do know is that some time ago, he had this to say about Dan Schneider. He's a monster, the worst predator alive.
I agree.
And if you wonder why nobody will confront or charge him, he's in charge of multiple hit shows for Nick, which rakes in oceans of money, tens of millions of dollars multiplied by many years and many shows, not to mention his merchandising royalties. So Viacom Nick warned him to cool it, then pay for his damn lawyers. What about the parents? No tweener parent who shoved their kid into the limelight from birth is going to cross him either, and risk career suicide and loss of revenue and residuals in future career. No matter how bad it fucks up the kids, especially if there's multiple kid actors in the family, and the kids' agents are complicit too, just ask the Spears family. A lot of settlements get paid out of Viacom's accounts.
Kind of shocking how Viacom, Nick, and half of the producers allow this to happen from a 50 or 40 or 60-year-old plus man. Now he's came out to the public and then started apologizing. Like, buddy, do you see all of this? And Nickelodeon is allowing it. At that point, don't even touch a TV at that point, or a piece of paper that allows you to produce shows at least. Why? Because you're genuinely weird.
You're done. You're washed. It's over.
You do this worst stuff, and you're also a EDP, which is a that word up there that I cannot explain, but you basically see what it says. Number 5.
Finally, on March 26, 2018, Nickelodeon parted ways with Dan Schneider. Nickelodeon's official statement was, following many conversations together about next directions and future opportunities, Nickelodeon and our longtime creative partner Dan Schneider / Schneider's Bakery have agreed to not extend the current deal. Since several Schneider's Bakery projects are wrapping up, both sides have agreed that this is a natural time for Nickelodeon and Schneider's Bakery to pursue other opportunities and projects. Dan was given a payout of $7 million upon his departure. He and his wife sold their home and currently reside in Hidden Hills, California. It's unknown if Dan Schneider is working on any new projects. So, is Dan guilty? Did he really abuse his young child actors?
I'ma say
well,
yes.
No one knows for certain. As you may have noticed, there is actually no concrete evidence against Dan Schneider. No celebrity has spoken out, and the ones who did have kept their identities private or are anonymous. So, for all we know, they could be lying. The closest comes to us from Noah Monk, the actor who played Gibby on iCarly, from the official podcast. But he was hesitant on defending Dan.
I would sort of...
Wait, what?
If that shit went on, I'm fucking like...
What? Wait, what did he say?
iCarly, from the official podcast. But even he was hesitant on defending Dan.
Oh, nah! L. Gibby. Like, for real. Why is you defending this weirdo? Like, Gibby, you was my guy growing up. You be the same one on
Bruh.
getting on top of tables and taking off your shirt and doing dance moves. What is you doing? You weirdo? Like, for real, you also weird.
I mean, if that shit went on, I'm fucking like, that's devastating to me because I don't see him in that light, you know? So watching clips on YouTube and shit of that is like crazy. But I mean, the foot fetish shit is like, okay, bro, come on. Like, I never really noticed that when I was 15 on the show, but of course, looking in retrospect, it's like,
oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
I don't even got no words for it. This is generally messed up. He's 15 and he sees like how the way these how these girls are coming on to Dan Schneider with these feet and all that, not knowing what. And it's only Jerry Trainer is the only guy that's on the set. Like, hey, bro, don't do that. Like, for real. He is the only adult stopping Dan Schneider from doing that. But this 15-year-old, not even Nathan Kress can't even do anything about it. Like, there is multiple adults in that show, along with the teenagers, and they can't even go out of their way to at least say, bruh, stop it, that's weird. They can't even stop to do it without Dan Schneider feeling turned on about feet and getting real close around the child actors. Give me a hug. I just want mine. I don't want your hug. Like, for real. I don't want your hug, cuz. You could be a guy in a van for all I know. A guy in a white van, and you can put me in the back. I don't want you, cuz. Like, for real. You weirdo.
it's like, okay. No, I don't know. No, and I never observed, saw anything like that or got hints of that. So it's fucking, it might be baseless rumor, but I don't want to speak. Like, what if some shit comes out? I don't want to be like on record being like, no, you know, so I have no clue.
These rumors and accusations have existed for a while, but nobody really said or did anything until Nickelodeon separated themselves from Dan. It was only then that people started growing concern. Why would Nickelodeon fire one of their biggest producers just out of nowhere? Were they aware of something? Many people point to this event as evidence that Dan must be guilty, but I beg to differ. I think it's worth mentioning that Dan's shows have been seriously declining in ratings. iCarly's pilot episode got 4.1 million views. Their most viewed episode, I Saved Your Life, got 11.2 million views. And their least viewed episode, I Battle Chip, got 2.4 million views. Victorious' pilot episode got 5.7 million. Their most viewed episode, Begging on Your Knees, got 6.1 million. And their least viewed episode, The Hambone King, got 2.39 million, so not that bad.
Same rate.
Skipping over Sam and Cat since that show never finished. Henry Danger's pilot episode got 1.94 million views. Their most viewed episode, Hour of Power, got 3.16 million. And their least viewed episode, Saturday Night Lies, got 1.05 million. Game Shaker's pilot episode got 1.98 million views. Their most viewed episode was the pilot episode. And their least viewed episode, Escape from Utah, got 0.52 million views.
The complete disrespect of both Game Shakers and both Henry Danger. Well, iCarly is the most viewed one. Okay. I understand those two are the most popular ones, but Henry Danger was a classic up. Henry Danger was a classic. It was a classic.
It seems as if the Schneider style just wasn't working anymore. Is it not more reasonable that Nickelodeon saw this trend and fired him because of it? I don't want to dismiss any of the people that have investigated and spoken out against him. I mean, with this many rumors and allegations surrounding Dan, it's just kind of hard to ignore it. And it's not like this hasn't happened before. In 2004, a man known as Jason Handy used his job at Nickelodeon to lure young child actors. He was arrested and sentenced to 6 years in prison for molestation and possession of child pornography. And after serving his time, he was released and went straight back to working at Nickelodeon. Hollywood is one of the most unsupervised, unrestricted industries in the world. The promise of fame and fortune can be so alluring to young and upcoming actresses and actors that they and their families are just willing to do anything. Once you become a public figure, everything you say and do will be held against you. Which is why if some actor or actress in the industry was abused as a child, they'd probably rather say nothing and not risk their career. You can't change the past, so might as well keep making money. I think the most we can definitively say about Dan is that, at the very least, he finds feet entertaining, and that's not a crime.
It's weird.
But who knows? Maybe someday an actor or actress will speak out against Dan. Maybe concrete evidence will be found, and maybe something will be done. I suppose we'll never know.
Only time will tell. Amazing video. Amazing. By Blame It on the George. No, I mean Blame It on George. Amazing. Incredible video. Wait for it. You Blame It on George, you will get this subscribe and the notifications will be personalized on. And I hope to see there's more evidence towards this Dan Schneider incident. Well, there kind of is over here, but, you know, I don't know how long they'll be, but I'll probably see them during my own time and all that. Yeah, but that was it. That was the Dan Schneider documentary, A Scandal at Nickelodeon by Blame It on George. Now, everything about Dan Schneider was true. Everything that he said was true. Okay, that right there is a crazy thumbnail. That is a crazy thumbnail right there. That is a crazy thumbnail. Besides that, Dan Schneider is weird. He should never get by a television. He should never touch any papers that allows producing or anything like that to like television shows. He should never be anywhere around children, to be honest. Never. Unless there's like multiple adults in the room that know how to defend themselves and they can defend others. But yeah, that man is weird. Never get by a television. Never get by a production set. Never come back to television ever again. Don't want to see you on Disney, Cartoon Network, Smithsonian Channel, MTV, Nickelodeon. I don't want to see you anywhere on them shows. I don't want to see anything talking about executive producer, this, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to see none of that. I don't.
You're finished. You're finished. You're finished. You're finished.
No. I don't want to see that. You're too much of a weirdo. Like for real. But anyways, if you like what you see, sub to me, hit the like button, comment down below, share with your friends, your families, your relatives. Oh, and make sure that, you know, to post your opinions in the comments down below of what you personally think about this weirdo Dan Schneider. Oh, and not to mention, there will be certain times that I will not be active as I used to be and all that, but I hope y'all are able to understand, like for real. There's so many opportunities on the way that I barely have enough time for this, but I'll try to make it work. Process is going through. 2024 is definitely going to be my year. But anyways, this is Cameron Vick signing off. Y'all have a good day.